What up, Dokkaners? What is the part 2 LR going to be for Golden Week? Is it going to be Kid Goku? Is it going to be Demon King Piccolo? Is it going to be this nerd down here? Well, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But in today's video, I figured I would throw my hat into the ring in terms of speculation. Some of you may feel like whenever I speculate things, it never happens. And if that's true, then maybe I'm doing this for a good cause. Maybe I'm trying to secretly deconfirm certain characters while promoting others. I don't know. But regardless, I wanted to take some time to make this video, talk about this because we are getting very, very close to things happening again. I know global players, you're kind of just sitting there wondering what's going to be happening. Things are going to be happening very, very soon. So before we jump into the speculation, let me just point out how things are playing out. If you guys may recall, last year at the same time, we actually had the same exact situation in terms of sequence of events. So right now, we just received the Goku Day social media campaign step 1 reward, which was 2 Dragonstones for the collective global fandom, clearing the Saiyan Gluttons stage 300,000 times. This is for the meat thing. So the next goal is 500,000, 500,000. Once we run 500,000 times on that event, we will earn 3 Dragonstones and then 5 once we complete it 1,000,000 times. This will happen. There's nothing to be concerned about. But the reason why this is important is because this was announced on the same day last year. Only difference was the time. About 17 hours later, but this is the same exact thing that we had last year in terms of the timeline here. So if we look back at last year, this is when the LR Goku Gohan released for part 2. On the 13th at the stroke of midnight, we received this banner, both sides of the game, and one of the best LRs for quite some time. In fact, this unit was pivotal in me clearing the Broly red zone for the first time without the 7-year LRs or Tech LR Gogeta. So this is actually a really, really good unit. So whatever ends up happening, we could be possibly seeing the birth of a new meta LR in this part 2 celebration. But let's just take a look at the sequence of events here. So social media campaign was announced on the 9th, and then like later on that day, the first step was cleared. Then the following day, there was a Super Strike event renewal for the Trunks. I don't think we're on the cusp of getting anything like this on global. We might be, but this isn't relevant. But the main reason why I'm pointing this out is because the day afterwards is when we received the Global Dokkan Producer's Letter. This Global Dokkan Producer's Letter is what showed us for the very first time what the LR was going to be for part 2. And as we saw, this was a what if LR because this is Goku Gohan doing the father-son Kamehameha while Goku is still alive. That never happened. So 2 firsts here. Number 1 was the fact that we were getting this LR. And then number 2 is the fact that it was a what if. This is the first summonable what if, I do believe. Most what ifs have been Halloween or free to play, so this is also just doubly special for that reason. So that being said, if you're thinking we could be receiving the news possibly on the 10th, it's possible, I should say. I'm not going to go ahead and say that it is confirmed because things are happening a little bit differently this time around. For one thing, this started way earlier. The update was given a little bit earlier, but that's probably more so because we just have more players, which means more people were participating, so we completed the goals sooner. This doesn't necessarily confirm or deconfirm the timing of it all, but the main reason why it may not necessarily be set in stone is just because it's looking more and more likely that probably the 15th might be the start of part 2, just because of the tickets right here. Like, the tickets is a pretty damning piece of evidence. With the tickets being part 2 themselves and the missions opening up on the 15th at 1 a.m., this probably seems like a more likely spot. I did talk about this in a different video. There are other possible dates that could be releasing. So for all intents and purposes, you know, this could maybe be like the earliest that we receive the information because this is not a Twitter teaser. This is more of a preview. Like, the Twitter teaser comes in the form of the animations and the actual unit details themselves. This is just a look at the unit in the card art form. That's it. So let's just say for argument's sake, we do get this tomorrow night. Right now, I'm recording this on the 9th. Let's just say the 10th. We do receive this. What time did this actually happen? This was 7 p.m. on the 10th. So let's just say like maybe the 10th early morning or perhaps the 10th evening, we received this same thing. That would mean that this is the preview. Then the Dokkan event teaser will happen a day later, which is when we got this. So May 11th is when we got the Dokkan event the Dokkan teaser animations. So that was at 2 a.m. Oh, there's me. Oh yeah, baby. All right, so this was 2 a.m. May 11th. And this is also when we received the unit details. So we got to see what the unit did. And then the banner released on the 13th, which means the 12th is when we received the data download. So if we were to mark from when we received the letter, we have to simply add 3 days. If the 15th is when the banner releases, that means the letter could be releasing on the 12th. So hopefully that gives you guys more of an idea. Maybe look out between the 10th and the 12th, we could be getting that letter. Now, let's speculate on what the LR could be. Before we do this, I also want to say, let's make a game of this. Now, I know most of you guys are probably either thinking Demon King Piccolo or Kid Goku. So I know I'm kind of just spoiling the game right here by showing you my guesses, but what I want you guys to do is to make 3 guesses, okay? And then I want you to make a 4th guess using a what if scenario. So if we were to get another what if LR, what could that what if possibly be? So, you know, looking back at my guesses for the Dokkan festivals for Goku and Piccolo, it's actually not that bad. And I'm actually kind of proud of what I guessed because World Tournament being there, Earthbred Fighters being there, Gifted Warriors being there. Was Terrifying Conquerors part of it? I think it was. I'm actually kind of proud of my guesses here. So, you know, I think I've got a little bit of cachet in terms of my predicting prowess. So now let's take a look at what I want for some of these LRs. When it comes to Goku, I'm not the biggest Goku fan, but when it comes to Dragon Ball, you can't deny Kid Goku made Dragon Ball. Like, this is the iconic Kid Goku look right here, especially when he's facing off against Demon King Piccolo. This, I think, has to be an LR. This has to be an LR. So if we are going to be going in the direction of a Kid Goku, this is what I would want right when he's facing off against Demon King Piccolo for the first time, right after Tien gets yeeted, which is fine. I think that this would be a very, very hype unit. And I think more so on JP, not necessarily on global. Now, Roshi, I think, is also deserving of an LR. Not to say that Roshi's not had an LR before. He has. And it's also a very similar build Roshi because it was a full power Roshi in Dragon Ball Super. But this Roshi is the real Roshi, the one that started it all, the creator of the Kamehameha wave, right? This was the master of Kamehameha back in Dragon Ball. And this was a pretty hype moment to see because up until this point, it was really only about martial arts, right? It was a very grounded sort of show in that sense. And then this sort of upped the ante a little bit. So I think that Roshi getting that summonable lead representation would be pretty cool. A summonable Roshi, a free-to-play Roshi, I think is more than deserving. He is one of those characters that deserves it after all. Moving on here, this is just a random one that I didn't want to include in like my official guess, but maybe like a Kid Goku going giant ape form. This was back when they were all like imprisoned in the Pilaf saga when Oolong wishes for panties. During that moment, I think it was around there. I forget exactly how it all shapes out. But this is when that Goku looks at the moon and he goes Freakazoid. And then we've got Mutaito. This is just another honorable guess. I want this guy to get an LR. I don't think he ever would. Plus, he would have the most atrocious set of links you would ever see. So yeah, he probably wouldn't be the best in terms of like team building. But if he's broken enough, I think that would be, you know, I think that would be justified. He's the one who did the evil containment wave for the first time in the Demon King Piccolo Wars, which leads me to my other guess, which I think would be awesome. If this was an intro animation for like the old school Demon King Piccolo. We didn't actually like watch this in real time. This was more like a flashback. I think this was Master Roshi's retelling of what happened in the original Demon King Piccolo Wars. So if this were like the entrance animation and then you like maybe, I don't know, he becomes this leading his demon army, this would be so freaking cool. I would love to see that. And then maybe another one could be like some sort of a standoff, Roshi versus Demon King Piccolo, not necessarily them together in an LR, but like using animations from this moment. I think that would also be pretty cool. So those are some of my guesses. And then for my what if is going to be Kid Goku and Grandpa Gohan. Why? I don't know. Join forces unit, furthering the whole pattern of Goku, father and son kind of thing. I think that would be kind of nice to have Grandpa Gohan and Kid Goku fighting alongside one another. They have fought each other before in the, what is it, the afterlife thing, the Baba, fortune teller Baba's realm, whatever. They have faced each other, but it's never been like, you know, together. So that would be a pretty cool what if. Links would also be probably garbage. Plus join forces units are pretty bad in terms of like categories, but whatever. These are just my guesses. And you know what? If I'm wrong, well, nobody's surprised. If anything, I have deconfirmed these units for you. You're welcome. Those are my guesses. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, when do you think we're going to be receiving the Global Dokkan Producers letter for the Part 2 LR? And what do you think about my guesses? Which ones seem more realistic? Which ones seem stupid? And what do you think would be a nice what if summonable LR for Part 2? And do you think the Part 2 LR is going to be a Carnival LR? Or just a regular legendary summon? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know when to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.